All right, let's just jump right in. For years, a lot of businesses looked at UI/UX design, user interface and user experience, as just another expense, a line on a spreadsheet, a cost center. But that way of thinking, it's changing, and it's changing fast. We're going to explore how great design has gone from being a simple cost to, honestly, one of the most powerful revenue drivers you can have. And this quote, man, it just nails it. The old playbook is done. It's not enough anymore to just have the product with the most bells and whistles. The new battleground is all about the experience. I mean, think about it. How do you pick an app to order food? It's not about who has the biggest menu, right? It's about which one is just the easiest and most reliable to use when you're hungry. Yeah, and this slide really captures that whole shift. The old way was just to pile on more and more features, thinking that's what people wanted. But here's the thing. Features have become a commodity. The new way, the way you actually win, is by being the easiest, the clearest, and the most reassuring option out there. Because when your customers can switch to a competitor with just a few taps, a smooth experience is what makes them stay. So that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? If just adding another button isn't the answer anymore, where does the real return on investment come from? Where's the value actually created? Let's break down where the money is won and, maybe more importantly, where it's being lost. First off, we've got to understand that bad design isn't just neutral. It's not just meh. It has a direct, a very real, and a very negative impact on your bottom line. It's an active leak in your boat. Let's start with the most obvious one, abandoned carts. We've all been there. You're trying to buy something, you're trying to give a company your money, but the checkout process is so confusing or frustrating that you just give up. Every single one of those moments is a lost sale, all because of a clunky user experience. Little things like a button that's hard to find add up to huge losses. And then there's this. When your app or your website isn't intuitive, what do people do? They flood your support team. They send emails, they get on chat, they call, and every single one of those tickets costs you time and money to solve. Money you're spending to fix a problem that better design could have prevented from the start. Oh man, and this one really stings. Think about all the cash you spend on ads, on social media, on content, all to get one person to visit your site. And if they land there, get confused, and leave within 10 seconds, poof, all that marketing money is just gone. It's like inviting someone to a great party, but they can't figure out how to open the front door. Okay, enough doom and gloom. We've seen the cost of getting it wrong. Now let's flip the script and talk about the rewards of getting it right. And the ROI of great UX isn't some vague, fluffy concept. It actually comes from 4 really predictable and measurable areas. And what's so cool is how these 4 pillars all work together. It starts with a direct lift in revenue, just by making things easier for people to buy. At the same time, that ease of use helps you avoid costs, like all those support tickets. And when your customers aren't frustrated, well, they stick around, which boosts retention and loyalty. And the end result of all that? You build real brand equity, that deep down trust that makes people choose you without even thinking about it. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but is it real? And the best part is, yes, you can actually track this. We're not talking about feelings here, we're talking about hard numbers that show up on your business dashboard. Let's look at exactly what metrics a great user experience can actually move. Let's start with a big one. The source material talks about a potential 5 to 10% usability improvement that directly translates into revenue. Now, that is not a small number. Just by making your product easier to use, you can see a significant financial bump. But how does that actually happen? Well, it happens by moving the numbers that really matter. On the money-making side, your conversion rates go up. More people successfully sign up and start using your best features. On the money-saving side, the volume of support tickets goes down. And for the long game, your customer satisfaction scores and the total lifetime value of a customer just keep climbing. Good design is the lever that moves all of them in the right direction. So we get the what and the why. The next logical question is how? How do you actually do this? For a lot of companies, especially if you don't have a huge in-house design team, a great path is bringing in some specialized outside help. A specialist agency brings some serious advantages to the table. First, they have this bird's eye view. They see what's working across tons of different industries, stuff an internal team might miss. They also have serious research chops, and this is crucial, they have an objective perspective. They're not caught up in office politics, so they can just focus on what the user data is telling them. But you know what? Maybe their most important role is being a bridge.
An agency can get all your different teams, product, engineering, marketing, the C-suite, all on the exact same page, aligned around what your users actually want. And that alignment is what stops you from wasting countless hours and dollars building the wrong thing.
Okay, so let's zoom all the way out as we wrap this up. Investing in UI and UX isn't just about fixing a few problems or getting a quick sales bump. It is about building a deep, lasting competitive advantage. It's about building a moat around your business. And this comparison just says it all. Look, your competitors can copy your technology. They can absolutely match your pricing. They can even build features that look just like yours. But the one thing they can never, ever replicate, it's the memory of a positive experience a user had with your product. That is uniquely yours. And that brings us right back to the start. In a world where technology is always changing and trends come and go, that one constant is that memory. A great experience builds an emotional connection, a sense of trust, and that becomes your most powerful, most defensible asset. So the final takeaway here is simple, but it's incredibly profound. Great UI and UX isn't just about making things look pretty. It's fundamentally good business, period. It drives revenue, it cuts costs, and it builds a brand that customers will come back to again and again. So the question really isn't whether you can afford to invest in great design, it's whether you can afford not to.